Look, we're stuck in the system, we can't get out. It's time for a change, stop running your mouth. I'm looking for words, but I can't get it out. Look for the light, but the sun blotted out.
Hold on, let me hop on the beat. Cause social injustice and prisoner mindset is something we gotta defeat. We idle these hoes and wear all these clothes with shoes that can't be creased. Steady looking for substance and change, but we searching all up in these streets.
Got a stain on my shirt that I can't get out. My people on high like the top of the mount. We thirsting for truth, but there's no spout. Look for a savior, but no one around.
But no one's around, but where do they look? It ain't in the church, it ain't in the book. We can't get a job, so we rather crook. They got us in chains, a fish on the hood.
Look, harvesting not bodies, harvesting not organs. Got 'em real big mad, cause they culture boring. Pimping the poor, Jim Crow at the door. Selling our souls, our daughters a whore. I wanna give in, can't take it no more. Don't wanna believe our people are more.
We swept our cup when we look at decline. We got a new bottle, it's filled with...
Hello, and welcome all my Malcolm people. Welcome to another Malcolm Make a Culture Move podcast, where we cover everything from intense social topics to funny social trends. We are your hosts, Mark Jonathan.
G.
Aja.
AJ.
And Tom.
Yes, sir. And as always, we have a wonderful podcast for you all today. But before we get started, if we could have our brief disclaimer.
So y'all know here on the Make a Culture Move podcast, we cover everything Black, and sometimes that can cause for some controversy to come up. So all we ask is that if something said here by any of us make you feel some type of way, think about why you felt a type of way, and then hit us up and we might be able to talk about it. You feel me? But with that being said, family, what's up? Y'all check in with me. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing?
Well, shoot, I'm chilling. I'll go ahead and kick it off. I'm very tired. I stayed up late last night, but besides that, I'm doing good. And y'all, hold on real quick though. I got 2 pit bulls, and it just made me realize that I don't think I can have a kid because this is ridiculous. Like, I don't know. All they do is eat, sleep, and shit. That's it.
That's
like,
it.
And repeat. That's it.
And
But
don't listen.
I'm saying. But yeah, besides that, I'm doing good though. Happy to be here.
Pass that John off.
Okay. Let's go ahead. Tom, how you doing, gang?
Man, up and up at it Sunday. The weather's starting to get better, so I'm fucking with that shit because I ain't fucking with the cold. So besides that, I'm doing good. I'll pass it to Aja.
I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to figure out what clothes and what shoes I'm gonna bring down to Colorado. That's like the hardest thing for me when like traveling to different states or whatnot, is like trying to figure out what clothes I'm gonna take, what shoes I'm gonna take. But I'm excited for the luncheon and everything like that. So overall, that just puts me in a good mood. So I'm doing good. But I'll pass it to G.
I'm doing good too. I'm in the same boat as Aja right now with packing and figuring out, you feel me, what I'm wearing and stuff. I do know that I've been checking the weather. At first it said it was going to snow on Thursday. Now it's saying it's going to be like rain and snow. So we'll see. But spring is around the corner, so I feel good. We just gained an hour with, daylight savings ending, which means we'll have longer days and shorter nights, which is always amazing. Always amazing. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Spring is my favorite season, y'all. Like if you really knew me, you feel me, I heard them. Spring is my favorite season out of all of them. That's my favorite. Super glad that it's right around the corner and we finna, spring forward. But I'll pass it to AJ.
Sunday fun day. It's a good day. Let's get it started.
My fault, y'all. I had to sneeze and it went away. But so boom, appreciate everybody for checking in. Appreciate everybody that's tapping in. Make sure y'all leave a like and comment on these topics we are about to discuss. But to kick off our podcast, let's go ahead and go with our Black affirmation. Aja. Oh, my fault. My fault. That's you. That's you.
You're good. Well, today I just kind of wanted to, and not enforce, but like kind of put it on the top of y'all's minds to kind of just really acknowledge the power of the tongue. The stuff that you say really does come to existence, whether it's good or bad, whether you are, talking down about something that you may disagree with or may not like or whatever. Stuff like that really does change your surroundings and change what can happen and influence what can happen, what will happen, whatever. So, that goes both positive and negative. Just kind of be mindful of the things that you say, just in general, so that you're putting out the stuff that you actually want and not the stuff that you don't want. So, yeah, just monitor the power of the tongue, is what I would say.
Absolutely love that. Be mindful of the powerful, or how powerful the tongue is. I like that. I like that a lot.
Me
All
too.
right, so
Fine.
definitely let's go ahead and continue with some Black excellence. I keep forgetting my fault, Aja. I'm done. All right, so boom. This is my segment. So for today, what I have for you all is first, and I won't be pulling up the articles, but you can find this on blacknews.com. The first one I have for you all is a Black student from Chicago is the first ever to get a perfect ACT score at his high school. So just shout out to him. His name is Mario Hoover. Um, and yeah, his high school is 42 years old. So, that's or 4 decades of students that never got a perfect ACT score. So just shout out to him. Black excellence for sure. Then my second topic is a free virtual summit that connects Black entrepreneurs with investors and allies and other supporters. Just the idea of networking with your own people that have the money and you have a good business idea, you guys can partner and make something great, make money together, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, those are my two Black excellence for you all today. Something real short and sweet. And again, that website is blacknews.com. Go ahead and tap in, show some love. How y'all feel about that one? Those two, should say. I think you're on mute.
Always shout out to our youth. You feel me? It's incredible, just the way our brain works and when it's put to use in the proper ways. And you feel me? It's just it's a good feeling. It's always a good feeling when you see the generations after you. It's crazy. I feel old saying this because I'm not that old, but really seeing the generations that are coming after you just grow and prosper and be better than you, right? Like for me, it feels good. Like I love seeing the youth just prosper and be better than what I was. So yeah, that's what I gotta say.
No doubt. Anyone else? 100. All right, moving on to our next segment. We got entertainment.
Oh, okay, y'all. I just got one thing for you, short and simple. The game says that he can out-rap Eminem. He says that Eminem is not better than him, and he believes that if he went toe-to-toe versus battle with Eminem, that he would win. How y'all feel about that?
That boy need
I
to go to
disagree.
sleep.
I heard Aja say I disagree.
Yeah, nah. I don't know though. I don't really listen to Eminem like that though. But I know the game not rapping better than Eminem. I don't think so.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't think so.
Maybe
either.
the game make like hits, but I don't think about out rapping though. For real.
Yeah, I don't think he can out Eminem. Eminem just got a cold flow about him, so.
The game ain't been the game since I don't even know when. So this is relevant.
I agree with AJ on that.
I mean, and it's just 100. It's like if they were to have like a real versus battle, I still think Eminem, but that would be the best That would be the best chance that the game could have. You feel me? Just going like hit for hit. But like, say if they were to do like a battle rap type of thing, like Eminem would kill him. Like that ain't even.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
don't
saying. Like on like lyrics type shit, I think Eminem will win. But I, cause I ain't never really listened to a lot of Eminem songs, so I can't say he got like dummy hits out here. But,
I
but
feel
Brad
you.
is talented though.
Nah, he do.
I was gonna say, yeah, he definitely got hella hits. But his flow, the game is just he's not matching Eminem's flow. Like,
The game is a crayon to me. I don't like it. But
see, well, there you have it. Eminem ain't no crayon.
It's simple. Simple.
Eat rabbit. But yeah, that's all I have for y'all. You feel me? Just short and simple on this week.
Got you. Got you. Um. Now we will go ahead and go over to our hood politics by my man Tom.
all right, yeah. Well, mine's gonna be short and simple too. Mine is just gonna be like a piggyback off of what we was talking about last week though, when we was talking about the situation, like how it starts. Like man, if I could say anything to young man and just man, period, bruh, there's 7 billion people in this world, and half of them is women. There's no reason to be tripping over women. Let that shit go. Period. Go get another woman. Vice versa too. For women. Reason to over men. There's a lot of men out here, so just let that shit go. And that's really all I got for that one.
Hey, y'all heard it here from Tone. Y'all heard it here first. LIG it. Let that man, let that woman go. LIG it.
Yeah, let that shit go, man. Let that shit go.
Wise words. Words. All right, boom. Appreciate you, Tom. We're gonna go ahead and jump into our controversy man, our shade room man, etc., etc. AJ.
All right, so now, quick thing. Last week, WNBA star Brittany Griner got arrested in Russia. So that's an ongoing case. Hopefully she can get out of that situation. But from what it looks like, she got hit with some, the little vape cartridges. So I don't know what's gonna happen with her, but just pray for her, what I mean, safe, return and all that. Hopefully the process can go quick because usually they drag out with stuff like that and they really don't care. So, yeah. But in other news, these gas prices, like, I mean, what y'all think? Like, I mean, in Cali they're hitting like $5, and I remember back in like probably before Obama got elected, like that was the highest it had been. It was like $5-6, around like America. So, what y'all thinking? Because I know right now in Denver, we at about like 390 something. So,
It's expected. We're at war. The world is at war. Like, it's expected. You feel me? Like, it's not like it's not I mean, I don't know. I expected it because I kind of understand how that type of shit works. I understand that a lot of people don't know that that's how it works, but America's money is not America's money. We're tied in with the other countries. You feel me? So the world is at war. Everything's going up. Everything is gonna go up. Everything is gonna go up. It's just how it is. You, like, I don't know. Watching the stock market, you're gonna watch the stock market's gonna plummet for certain things because things are going down in the stock market, but those gas prices, grocery prices, like our essential need type things, all of that's gonna go up. Inflation going to 8%, 9%, 10%. Like, it's crazy, but to me it's expected. I honestly didn't expect anything less for gas prices to go up because we're at war.
so if auntie, or not even auntie, like one of y'all homies or like what I mean, cousins is like, hey man, what I mean, let's say you in Aurora, hey man, can you take me to Littleton or Lakewood? I need to go run some errands. What you gonna say?
Where's the money at? What the heck?
How much? What we asking for? $5? I got you on
Aurora to
5.
Littleton.
I
I
got
ain't
you on
going.
5. That covers it, right?
80.
I was
80.
about to say, like, I need at least double digits
Yeah,
for
hey, that's a
stressing.
lot.
Like, no, for real. Like $20 is not filling up nobody's
Wow.
tank right now. Nobody's. You feel me? Do not tell me you got 5 on it. You need to have a minimum of 25 on it. You feel me? We're at war. 5 on it ain't gonna cover nothing. For the gas that's going in my car or the gas that's going in the feel me? It ain't going 5 ain't covering nothing.
Respect.
You gotta for real, put something on it. All right, can't help you. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh,
Where
God,
you going?
that'd be-
Sorry, not. That's tough.
But about that whole Brittany
Shit, you
and
can't even get Ubers as cheap as that. The Uber's pretty expensive too.
Everything's
facts. But about that whole Brittany situation, I hope she doing straight. You feel me? America and Russia at war, so that's kind of like a rough place to be in right now, as far as jail goes. But for me, I would have waited until I got to America. Me a little weak heart, like I don't know what that was about. But yeah, prayers to her. Hopefully she do it all right.
Yeah. And then onto the comment, what James said with the bus, I don't know whoever last caught the bus, but last time I didn't caught the bus, I was looking, I think the bus fare was like 260 something, around there per fare. And at first it seemed like, you could just catch an Uber down the street, you ain't got to worry about the bus, just because like Ubers are probably like $5 to $7. So it's like, what's the difference? But now people might start thinking about it. I'm highly like on not catching the bus just because of time, and that might take an extra 30 minutes to hour out of your time, versus like driving. Personally, me with a car versus me without a car. But hey, like if that's the best budget, hey, you got to do what you got to do.
I'm just not gonna go. If I have to catch the bus, I'm just not gonna go. Y'all, I'm being dead ass. I'm being dead ass. Like, I'm just not gonna go. It's not that important. It's really not.
I feel you. 100. But those are our quick topics for today. We're gonna go ahead and jump into our main topic, which is I keep doing my files. I keep doing that. But boom, so as y'all can see on the screen, you feel me? 5-year-old sends teacher to a hospital. All right, who got the backstory on this?
Sorry. So it was like a brief amount of information that was shared as far as the topic goes. But pretty much a 5-year-old and another child were actually throwing like desks and chairs, I believe, at the teacher. And so the teacher sent one of the 5-year-olds to a like cool down room. And so I believe like they went to go check on the child or something like that happened to where they was in the same room together. And the child ended up using their fists and their feet to assault the teacher. And so, of course, the police were called and stuff like that. And when the police came, it said, let me read it word for word. The teacher was found sitting on the ground against the wall on the north side of the room, appearing to be in a faint state. So pretty much he was trying to get her to, like respond to his questions and stuff like that. And she wasn't doing that. So she ended up having to be taken out on a stretcher. And then, the child is still trying to see what's going to happen as far as if they're going to be facing assault charges or not. So
My guess, I'll get my.
You should not be watching kids if it's out of pocket. Not be watching kids. If a 5-year-old could knock you out, what are you doing? That is crazy.
I think, yeah, like to go with Tone, like not only like do I look at that lady as like just pure like dumb, but like that's just straight up like ignorance. The fact that like you're in the situation, and well, yeah, these kids like have problems. These kids are bad sometimes, but at the same time, you was just like, the one that's like not looking out for like the damn toy that they about to throw at you. You know what I mean? Not looking out around like to your side behind you. You know what I mean? Like if somebody threw a toy at you, or if a kid swung a toy at you, you know what I mean, or something, you'll be able to dodge it or you'll be able to hit it. But it just seemed like looking at the whole situation, like she just basically like let the kid hit her and then fell down, and she actually hit I think she hit like the desk. So like that's what caused like major damage. But like yeah, just like dramatic, like just a whole dramatic instance. So it was unnecessary, but at the same time, like, hey, like I'm gonna be 100 with you. Like a black teacher ain't about to let no kid do that. That
But
black
then
teacher
that's
ain't
the
about to
thing,
let no
like
kid do that.
if a child is hitting you as a teacher, it's little that you can do. You can try to remove yourself from that situation, but if you put your hands on a 5-year-old as a grown adult that's supposed to be technically protecting that child, that's going to be a whole bigger issue. So, I mean, I do agree to a certain extent as far as what predicament was she in to where he was able to hit her and kick her and all that other stuff. But at the same time, I guarantee you, if she's teaching a full class of 5-year-olds, I could see maybe 10 to 15, but 5-year-olds, who's expecting a child to start throwing chairs at you? You're trying to teach, and then all of a sudden the child throwing chairs and desks and stuff like that. That's not expected. And so,
Yeah.
I feel like the child should be held more accountable because the child and the parents, because at the end of the day, I know for a fact, my siblings know for a fact that stuff like that isn't acceptable. I may have talked back to a few teachers, something like that, but I've never put them in any type of physical danger. So that's really more on the parents for not, making sure that the child knows that when you're not even when you're anywhere, there's a certain type of way that you should and shouldn't act. So I mean, the teacher should be held accountable to a certain extent because she should have taken her own safety into a little bit more, account or whatever. But still, I feel like that falls more on the child and the parents of the child.
Yeah. I
I
agree.
go ahead.
No, I
Yeah,
was
I
gonna
agree
say
with
like
that shit.
I agree with
It's
what you
on the
said. I think that that's the big thing when you say you think about charges. I think if anything, the parents will face something rather than the kid. Like you can't charge a little kid, but you can definitely hit the
Yeah,
parents
you
through like
can't
some
get no
fines or something
5-year-old
like
no
that.
fucking charge.
So
That's fucked up.
I would probably say the parents is probably gonna get most of that situation, like as far as like just punishment or fines or whatever. And then as far as the teacher, I think the best thing, you cannot hit kids, even like this ain't that day. And I agree with you on that. I will say though, just being able to put yourself in a better position, rather than like letting the kid like, I mean, if the kids is gonna play or whatever, like they gonna play with their toys, you know what I mean? You get hit with a chair or something, that's totally different. But at the same time, like you got to be aware of your surroundings, and I don't think that teacher just you couldn't even tell by like the way she looked. Like nah, she wouldn't, she was not aware of her surroundings at all. Like she's probably like that 24/7 too. So I mean it sucks for her because that's just the type of person. Like I mean she got beat up by the student. Like you know what I mean, that's a sad situation. But at the same time, for her it's nothing she could have probably done besides like put the kid in a better position. Like if you know this kid's hyperactive like that, then you need to tell like management and like, hey, like this is what's going on. But now it's too late. I mean, they got to figure something out because if this kid's gonna continue to stay in that school, then I mean, it probably not. The kid's probably gone. But if the kid's either going to be in the class or if you're going to learn from this situation, then you got to have like a backup teacher, cameras, something like that, just simple, to make sure that this doesn't happen. So, go ahead, G.
For me, it's just a couple missing variables to kind of, have a clear judgment. Like I don't want to say the, teacher shouldn't be teaching that level of kids because like with this child, this can't be his first time acting out like this. If he's throwing chairs and tables and obviously this child has some type of anger, and with that, it comes from home. So that's on the parents to communicate with the teachers like, hey, he's having a day. He might not, and even, when things happen, isolate that child and immediately call their parents. You're going home for the day. You're done. You cannot participate in school with other children today because of your behavior. They should have parents isolated, caught the parents immediately, and y'all really don't need to have no more contact, like physical contact with that child after isolating. Let their parents handle that. Let their parents handle that, because you can't hit kids as a teacher. You can't. And that's why that's a profession I couldn't have, because I would have took the risk of losing my job. I would have took the risk of losing my job. I'm definitely finna flip you over and start to spanking you on your little behind, because who the hell, and if your parents got a problem and tell your mama to see me outside, I'm a risk losing my job. You're not finna throw no tables, chairs, or put your hands on me as an adult. First of all, as your teacher. Second of all, you're not going to do that. And teachers are not allowed to hit kids, which is very understandable. So y'all isolate them, call their parents, call somebody who has that power to discipline their child in the way that needs to be disciplined. But if this is a child that the teacher and the school facility know that he has whatever problems he has that causes for him to act out in such a horrendous way, there needs to be action plans in place to follow when he starts to trail off. There needs to be action plans in place. And I think that's where the school kind of fails, because what action did y'all really have in place for him to properly calm down, or to assess? I mean, I understand he's 5, but that's when you start. Because this behavior, if it's not addressed right now as a 5-year-old, by the time they're 15, honey, that's a menace to society. So it's on the parents for sure, because something's triggered inside of that boy that happened, that it possibly happened at home before even getting to school that day, and now you're lashing out at school. Now, if nothing did happen at home, then it's on the teachers and the school facility. It's important, especially when you're watching kids that age, to monetize their every move. Children act and start acting out in their own way when they're uncomfortable, whether it's with something uncomfortable that just happened at school, whether it's something that is uncomfortable at home. But you have to pay attention to young kids. You have to be aware of their natural behaviors and what's not natural for them. Like, okay, I've never seen you do this before. Let's figure out what's going on with you. Okay, you're going a little bit too far. Let's see how we can bring you back and reel you back in for the day. And if that's not possible, isolate, call parents, send home. Period. Isolate, call parents, send home. That child should have been sent home. Parents should have been on the phone immediately. No, I'm sorry I have to call you and pull you from work. I truly am. I apologize. But your child is up here throwing tables and chairs. I don't even know how this 5-year-old is picking up desk, but Hercules is doing it. So come get little Hercules and take his ass home.
Yeah, and just a small clarification on everything too. So I got the thing right here. So according to police report, the incident began when 2 students in the classroom, 4 and 5-year-olds, began throwing things around the classroom at the teachers along flipping, basically I don't know, but they said at the teachers basically flipping chairs and all of that, sliding desks. So I mean, it wasn't like he threw the chair, but he was flipping the chair more. Several faculty members split up the students, and the student and the teacher was brought into a new classroom. Basically like, hey, here, watch this kid. We're trying to prevent like all of the kids from outbreaking. So then we go to, then the boy attacked and ran at the lady. So basically he charged at the teacher. She seen him. He charged at the teacher, and she did not really, I guess you could say she didn't really expect it. But like with his whole body weight, that's how she fell and hit her head.
The 5-year-old's body weight pushed her down like that, tackled her down like he was.
Yeah, so like imagine the kid charging at you, and then like basically you got hit, and then like basically like a linebacker.
Okay, I just want to say honestly, in a situation like that, and bring
just devoted the teacher.
James's comment. I just want, like, with that situation, after isolating that, if getting the child alone with one teacher was a horrible idea, period. If you're having them alone with the one teacher was a horrible idea. That child should have been, if you're isolating him with a teacher and not by himself, it needs to be two teachers to be able to handle that type of anger. That child was throwing tables and chairs. What do you think one little itty bitty petite white woman was going to be able to do for that child? You needed to have at least two other adults in that room with that child. We probably would have, I don't know, he probably would have did, but maybe two adults would have been a little more intimidating than one adult. But with the teaching environment in general, that age group, I don't think it should just be one teacher at all in any scenario, in any classroom, in any setting. With young kids, I believe you should always have two teachers dealing with that age group of children, because they're a lot to handle. They really are. They're a lot to handle, and they're dealing with emotions and processing stuff that they don't even know. Like they don't even know what's going on inside of them, because they're kids and all they want to do is have fun. That's all they want to do is have fun. But it's hard, you know, because certain kids go through certain things. So that's why I think it's important. You have to have like a minimum of two teachers in a classroom setting with those type of kids, because it's easier to monitor and break up. Okay, I'm watching these kids today, you watch kids today, and that type of thing. Yeah, I just don't think, you know, one teacher is enough for the classroom, because kids are a lot. Kids are a lot. Teachers are not appreciated enough, and you know, but I also, you know, I don't know. I just don't think they should have isolated it with just one teacher.
Hey, but I have, and I know this new generation of kids is different, because they be watching like them tablets and shit. And there be some out of pocket shit on them tablets that the little kids be watching. They be emulating a lot of that too, because like nowadays, because I'm guilty of that shit. Like you, instead of like sitting there and really like chilling with your kids, you be like, here, get your tablet so get shit done, and you have so kind of like technology raise kids to be really understanding the difference between like. You can't do the same shit you seeing on your little tablet in real life. You over here tackling your teachers like this a game or something, and you done knocked her out. So it could be a situation like that. It don't necessarily have to be like this little kid is bad as fuck. He could just like, that is bad. He need to get his ass beat. But I'm just saying, like, it could be just like overblown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's super hyper.
Yeah,
super
that's
active.
true. And these tablets and the shows.
But I ain't gonna lie, that's a strong kid though. He's throwing tables. Bruh got anger inside of him because he's too little for that.
Like, how are you? I want to know, how does it?
He got retardation.
Like, how are you picking up the chair? Maybe one thing, but the desk. How big is the desk? Why are you even able to pick it up?
Probably, if I were to guess, I'm thinking of like, you know, them combined, not even the combined ones. It'd probably be like, you know, the little small toddler desk. Like, but it can't be too bigger. Well, I don't think it's the combined one, because the kids, they're too small for those. But I think it was probably like, you know what I mean, like the probably 3-foot chair, and it was probably like the 5-foot table. And it's probably, I mean, those are light. If they don't have the little cubby underneath this metal, then I mean, I feel like you can definitely
start. To flip it over is one thing, but to pick it up and throw it.
No, I think he just threw the chair. I think he probably flipped the table, if I were to guess. It's just like the context that we're reading it in. But I think overall, like, I think the impact that like we have, especially like if you think about it, like, because I remember going back a couple years ago, just like, you know, teaching in like Boys and Girls Clubs, rec centers and stuff, you know, chilling with the youth, getting to know how they are and like whatever, just to put myself in that situation. I think that if I were in that situation and the kid was like that, like, I probably have been in that situation where the kid is like ran or charged, but like I'm not gonna like get tackled. But like, just for her, I would probably like say, just overall, let's try to like stay calm. I'm sure she was calm, but at the same time, I think the other kids might have helped with the violence. So maybe just try to control the classroom overall.
Okay. I just wanted to say before we get to James' comments, ultimately for me, and maybe this is why I'm not a teacher, but I never hit a kid, especially that's one that's not mine. But at the end of the day, like, would restraining be too much? Like, I don't know. For me, it's just I can't imagine a 5-year-old doing that. Like, I don't know. I feel like there were multiple steps that could have been taken to avoid this
I
whole
was
scenario.
bad
Like,
at
when this grows,
bro. I was bad at 5, so I know that's possible. I
Yeah,
know
my,
that's
my my
possible.
big brother was knocking kids out at 5, so it is possible. It, but
but as a grown individual though, like, I don't know. For me, as soon as you throw that first chair, I'm either making my way
But you
towards
gotta
you
understand, bro. A
or I'm
lot of
making
these
my way
teachers be
towards the
soft
bump.
though, bro.
What?
Like a lot of these teachers be soft though. Like they be putting the wrong teachers in the wrong environments. Like when we went to Wyatt, bro, we made like 4 teachers quit that year because they brought teachers from like different areas where they definitely not acting like us into these scenarios, and they couldn't take it, bro.
And
That's
I
a big problem.
understand
Like
that
you gotta
fully.
make sure that you got the right environment.
No, I definitely understand that fully, but it's just like for me, I don't. And you even called multiple teachers and other people to come to the class. Like, I don't understand how it even escalated to the point where he's rushing you and knocking you out. Like, I don't know. For me, if you were to
Yeah, I
call
ain't
me
gonna
and
lie. Teachers used to body slam us, bro. So I'm not understanding this. All that.
saying, but even like if
It
I were to
probably
imagine
is
myself
because
as a
you
parent,
really go to that shit.
there's
like,
not enough male teachers in general, and then there's just not enough black male teachers. That child needed a black male teacher to just be in his presence. Just be in his presence. Like it really does make a difference. And Tone hit that on the nose. Like the type of teacher you have in a specific environment does matter. It really does, especially when um the type of teacher you have. It's important, and it's important knowing the kids too. If that child is like that 3 out of 5 days of the week, that's a child that honestly should not be in regular classes with other students who don't have that type of problem. And it deserves special attention, to be honest. Like, I don't know how that sounds, but he deserves special attention. And I don't know how this is about to sound coming out, but that little small petite white woman was no threat to him. None. None. And she probably is not built to deal with kids with anger issues. Not saying she's not built to be a teacher, but she's not built to deal with kids who have special needs or stuff like that. Anger issue is special needs. I'm gonna go ahead and say that for real. Anger problems is I feel like should be considered special needs, because it's something that is hard to control in kids. I don't know if y'all ever met a kid with anger problems, but it takes a lot of patience and a lot of love to deal with kids like that.
And that's
And
the thing. The teacher could have had that love and didn't want to leave the child alone because it's like, maybe I can help him. Maybe I can try to talk some sense into him. And so
she
even if
shouldn't have tried
she's
to face it by
seeing,
herself, though. She should have had at least one other adult with her. She shouldn't have tried to face it by herself.
And
She
got
should have.
herself knocked out. God.
Yeah, she should. She shouldn't have been by herself with him. Even if she wanted to talk to him alone in the room that they were concealed in, she should have at least had one other teacher, preferably a male, in the room with her while she was trying to talk to him and calm him down, to kind of help prevent this. Because her by herself, he obviously didn't have no respect for her in the classroom where there was other kids. So by one on one, oh, I could take you one on one. Oh, I can take you. Ain't no other kids here. I can take you one on one. So she should have just had at least one other adult presence in the room with her while she wanted to talk to him. Because honestly, I get wanting to want to talk to him and try to just bring him back down and not want to call the parents and send him home. I get why parents don't. I mean, teachers don't want to call the parents because it's frustrating to get cussed out by a parent when why are you calling me? You know I'm at work with you, bam bam. You know I know situations like that. So I know I'm both the parent and the teacher. That's stressful. And as a teacher, you do want to try your best, but you have to think smarter and not harder. She should have had another adult present with her.
Okay, I like that. I like that take. You know what I mean? You gave a whole perspective on that. Especially like I remember when kids used to act up, they used to send like the male principal or like the male like lead teacher and handle that situation. But when I think about this, I don't know what the like legal limits and like age restrictions and all this is, but y'all know how like kids used to like have to take their meds and stuff, or they have like the little card system, and then you gotta like write off like, okay, like this person took his meds today, or you got to take your meds. What do y'all feel about that as far as kids taking meds? Because I feel like that's been around for the longest. Like I don't like it personally. Like I never was a kid that did that, but I feel like I've always seen kids in that situation to where if they were over hyper. I don't know, what is it? Do they give them? I don't think they give. I hope they don't give them Ritalin, but I'm sure it's something along those lines. Um, so, which y'all think?
I'm fully against it. I honestly don't think that they should be taking pills. It's more harmful in the long run, even though they like to lead you on and tell you that it's helpful. It's really more harmful in the long run. And honestly, that's how kids get addicted to drugs early. Prescribed drugs are still drugs. Just because you have a prescribed drug problem doesn't mean it's not a drug problem. You like getting addicted to prescription drugs, it's probably even worse than getting addicted to illegal drugs, because you can legally go get them, and and people learn how to finesse the system in a way where they keep their refills on go, and they just have an endless amount of refills and an endless amount of refills. I'm against it 100%. I honestly don't think children should be diagnosed in a way that they need to be put on drugs. They're drugs. That's what they are.
I agree. I'm against it too. And then it even going from like a short term reaction, it causes you to be dependent on them. And it causes if it oh my, from what I've heard and what I've seen in certain situations, it makes it worse. So, for antidepressants, for example, you know, once you start taking them, once you're not taking them, your depression is worse to where you literally are dependent on it. And so I feel like you were saying, that causes an addiction and just different things like that further down the line. So, specifically speaking with this situation, I don't think that for anger, I don't think that he needs to be prescribed any type of medication. I think that he needs to be taken out of, like you were saying, special classes. I agree too. He doesn't need to be with all them other kids influencing them, because children are very easily influenced. So at the end of the day, seeing him do that, oh, I'm going to try it too. So he needs to be in a secluded area, have certain academic plans or whatever that follow. But I don't think that any type of prescription or medication or anything like that is necessary, because he didn't, I mean, it's just not necessary in this situation. So I agree with G in disagreeing that meds are needed in this situation.
Yeah, yeah. I think because like think about it, they are if you got the right teacher in the right environment, it's easy. Like, because if it's all the kids at first that were like playing and throwing shit and doing all that shit, or a couple of kids, then that teacher already knows that these kids is like that. So she need to stop expecting kids that are hyperactive to be sitting down a lot. She needs to switch up how she teaching, because you can't expect them to sit down for a long time. They got short attention span. So like, if you got the right person that knows how to like make it hyperactive and they'll teach their lesson at the same time and make it easier for the kids, instead of expecting kids to be like, because I've always thought school was like jail, bro. Like you can't fucking move until you hear a noise. Like it's certain times you got to eat at certain times. It's like teaching you to be good workers. So little as kids when they be going to school, it's a shock to them. They be like, damn man, it's just I feel like all the structure put on little kids for real, for real.
Mark.
Uh, sh- um, so I mean, I definitely agree with what y'all were saying. I'm definitely not for giving kids um drugs and stuff like that. I think it's mostly about one, their environment at home, how they're being raised, and at the same time just making sure they're in the right environment in the schools, or or at least the person running their environment is the right person. I don't know, for me I still can't really see that, but I mean that's why I'm not a teacher, I guess. But y'all want to jump into some of the comments?
Yeah, I want to. James comment the last one that he popped up. I want us to talk about this. He says, "What teacher is built to solve the issues kids are experiencing? None of them. Teachers become teachers because they love kids and want to impact kids. They're not professional psychiatrists, therapists, psychologists. Expecting and overworked and underpaid and educated to handle situations like this is just crazy. Which is why it's important at the beginning of the school year, uh, you know, it once a child gets in school, they learn if this child is able to be around other kids or not. Do you need to be with special needs, or are you able to function with other students? And this child is not. Now, I agree, like what Tone was saying, you got to have teachers who are equipped for their environment. The thing is that a lot of the times you just don't. You just don't have teachers that are equipped for situations like this. Because the people who are equipped for situations like this are not going to be teachers because they know what the pay is like, and situations like this can handle. Maybe they don't have the heart for it. Um, teachers don't become teachers to be rich, right? They're not in it for the money. Teachers barely get paid anything. So they're definitely not in it for the money. They're in it for the impact. They're in it because um they want to be a positive change. Most teachers. I ain't gonna speak for all of them, but
Yeah,
I
I was
am
about
gonna.
to say some
I'm
teachers, I
gonna
don't
speak for.
know.
But I am gonna say
Yeah,
most teachers
some
make
teachers.
with a good heart. They want to be an impact in a child's life. Um, the thing is that you got teachers who like when I went to Wyatt. I'm gonna speak on my own school experience here. When I went to Wyatt, right? When I was in the third grade, I had made a teacher of mine cry. Second and third grade, Miss Anderson. If you ever see this, Miss Anderson, I do apologize for the way that I treated you when I was a young bug. I just didn't like you. But I made her cry because and when we had the meeting with the principal and the school and everything, and they asked me what the problem is. I don't remember this, but my mom always says that I sat there and I asked them, who's writing the curriculum? And everybody was shocked. Like, what do you mean? And I repeated myself, who's writing the curriculum? I don't like what we do in class. I feel like we should have more reading time and more writing time. Like I just kind of went in. I just kind of went in on the curriculum, and they say I made the teacher cry because she was kind of uncomfortable with how I was making her feel. And so to me, she wasn't equipped to deal with me as a child. she just wasn't equipped to deal with me as a child. Not saying she wasn't equipped as a teacher, but she wasn't equipped to deal with me. So what the school should have done at that moment was enhance my grade. I'm obviously asking for more work. The work that I'm doing is not challenging me in any type of way whatsoever. I'm making my teacher cry because I'm trying to challenge myself and she don't understand that. So the school should have took initiative to be like, okay, maybe we need to do something here. So it's like that's how I feel like it should be. Like teachers and the school faculty and staff, like it's just important to really tune in and know your kids. The principal should know the name of every student in their school. Every student in their school, the principal should know. And I know that's saying that's asking for a lot. I understand that's asking for a lot. But as a principal, you should know the name of every student in your school. Not every teacher should know the name of every student. Every teacher should just know their students and ones that come to them. But as the principal, as a school counselor, the gym teacher, because
Hey, that's a
you
lot of people though.
all the kids, y'all should know the name of all these kids. Y'all should really work hard on building relationships with these kids. That's how you learn what they're good at, what they need. Those secret needs that we have inside of us, those secret needs, those secret problems that we have. If you really take the time to get to know the kids that are in the school, you'll know what they need and what's best. You'll know what teachers you need when you're doing your teacher selection. You got to be honest with yourself. You was a good teacher at that school in that predominantly white neighborhood, but will you be a good fit to be a teacher at this school in this predominantly black neighborhood? You knew how to deal with white kids, but do you know how to deal with black kids? You knew how to deal with black kids, but do you know how to deal with white kids? The selection process, I honestly think, needs to be a little more thick in choosing teachers. And to be honest, like I get that they're not, psychiatrists, therapists, and all of that. But the level of understanding that they should have for the environment, classroom setting, or even the environment, school setting should be appropriate. Like you don't want somebody, somebody who is coming from like an all boys boarding school, being a teacher at a public school, mixed in with girls. How do you know they're gonna? They're coming from being a boarding school teacher at a public school. Then also the age range. Somebody who is coming from teaching high school students, dealing with a different range, and then decides to now I want to teach elementary school students. That's not a good jump. The mental difference between high school students and elementary school students, you got to deal with them differently. And a high school teacher might not be the best option for an elementary school teacher. Vice versa. You feel me? I don't know if I made any sense to anybody, but yeah.
Yeah. No, that definitely like makes sense. I think
Yeah, I
one of
feel
the
like
biggest
early childhood, you should have like some psychology classes that have that teaching license, because that's like the most important part. Maybe when you, like you said, in high school, that's their only job is just to teach you the curriculum, because you already should have common sense in your dumb ass. For a little
yeah.
kid though, I feel like the teachers should be more equipped to learn how to like deal with kids and stuff, because they don't know how to express themselves all the way, so they do stuff by acting and all. And they got to see the signs of that. If they don't see the signs, then this is what happened. She got knocked out.
Yeah,
What were you
I
saying,
think
AJ?
no, I was gonna say I think like if we circumstances and like put it in the right scenario, you got to think about all of these situations. Okay, we just came off of 2020. Basically all the kids were out of school, and then if a kid had never been to school, basically he probably skipped from like being a 3-year-old to a 5-year-old in school. Like he probably never experienced the pre narrative of like, hey, like this is how you start school. So just being in this environment, he might do his brothers like that. He might play with his siblings, but when you have that basically in school, like it's not okay. And then the second thing I think too is when we scenario it like that, a lot of these teachers, like a lot of these schools are understaffed. Like James said, these teachers are underpaid. So how does this school fix this situation to where, okay, like we don't have necessarily have the staff? If they do, then great, but if they don't have the staff, if they don't have the circumstances of like, hey, like, we've been out of school for a minute, like how do they, like I said, I think overall a camera and just like maybe even leaving the doors open, but like maybe a camera even just that might help. Which I think
Like a camera in the classroom.
like a camera type, like imagine a camera and imagine like a speaker on the camera. So like let's say like if like there's somebody watching and monitoring the classrooms, right? There's like imagine somebody in the office monitoring the classrooms. So then whenever like they're monitoring and they see like a situation like the class is rowdy or something, like settle down. Like that would be like a great assistant like teaching tool to where it helps classrooms that are understaffed. Now not saying that they should do that all the time, like they shouldn't get lazy and say, hey, we can use this tool. But like at the same time, you can kind of tell when the class gets hectic. So just using stuff like that, I think would be a great idea.
I think
I don't really.
I really think that's something that, especially.
But I ain't gonna lie though, Will. I ain't gonna lie. This is gonna fucked up. But for real, y'all know how white people be in school, bro. If you did something like that though, all the little black and brown kids that be acting out, they gonna be getting them in like a lot of, I guess, extra trouble, unnecessary trouble with them just being children. Because they gonna put people that's watching that and taking it as just like with the police. The police be fucking thinking you getting aggressive with them or you talking aggressive and you ain't even doing that shit. That's just probably how you talk. Like a lot of people aggressive, but I don't talk aggressive. This is just how I talk.
I feel you. I do feel you
I
on
think
that.
that
The for the younger kids, a voice that you can't see and like hear, but it's kind of like hearing God's voice. It'll startle them, especially for young kids, right? For like real young kids, the class is getting a little rowdy, and honestly, even if it's like a recorded voice, right, that they just press a button and it's recorded and it comes through, it should be a male's voice. It should not be a woman's voice. It should be a male's voice. And I, just to as a woman, like, hey, settle down. It didn't sound right coming from me because I have a female's voice, that high pitched female's voice, right? But coming from a man's voice, that dominant, deep passion, it'll just startle the kids like, hey, where'd that come from? And even if you give, warnings coming through, settle down before we send the principal, settle down before we send, whoever they send down to the depending on the age. Whatever. I want to say security for elementary. It's probably the principal for elementary or like the dean or whoever. But I think it, especially for elementary school kids, I think it will be effective. If they just have like somebody sitting in a room monitoring the classroom, like a little security room monitoring the classrooms, maybe 2 people to monitor all the classrooms and nobody's class gets missed, and then they have a recording and press that recording and go straight to the classroom. Settle down. To be a strong male voice like Denzel.
I just want to get Aja in here real quick though.
I see that maybe working as like a last resort, because realistically, if we're doing it for elementary, that's like kindergarten or whatever through 5th, that's a lot of kids. 2, that's a lot of time. So, if you have to have you truly have to have people designated to watch one specific class. But then on top of that, you have to make sure that all the kids is in the camera, that's a lot of work that goes into that. And even still, you not like there's not a physical person there telling you to stop. So you may still have kids that are like, oh, I mean, I don't even know who that is. So, and keep doing what they're doing. So, I mean, I see it working potentially, but I also see that it's kind of a lot to go along with that. And that I feel like that kind of would have to look at like more funding and more people being hired, because like I said, I truly feel that you would have to have people designated to specific classrooms, and like G said, maybe 2 people specifically watching the classroom all the time. And so I say 2 people, even because you may be watching somebody on the left side of the camera but not even realize that on the right side they over there doing whatever. So that's a lot to watch through a computer screen, and then try to make sure that you're catching every significant issue that there is. So I don't know. It's kind of, I see it working, but then I also don't see it working in certain situations.
I
Yeah,
definitely agree with Ajla. uh, but to the furthest extent, I really don't see the camera and the speaker working. But for 2 reasons. One, we barely pay one teacher enough, so getting two would be hard. But to support that argument, I think this is what we would need to do. You feel me? We pay our professional athletes 7, 8, 9 figures, and rightfully so. You feel me? They only 5% of them actually make it to the professional level. Less than that, most likely. Um, You feel me? But they're still getting paid exponentially. But the people that actually hold the impact in our students' lives, their futures, their learning habits, et cetera, we pay them minimum wage type shit. You feel me? So I feel like, but also while increasing the pay, we would also increase their requirements in order to get in the school. You feel me? Especially a school that requires those type of special assistance. You feel me? I definitely feel like increasing their pay while also increasing what they would be required to do in certain situations would definitely alleviate a lot of these issues that we see today. And thank you, James. I wanted to say it was less than 1%, but I wasn't sure. Like, yeah, but yeah. So that's all I have to say on that topic.
I
Yeah,
don't.
definitely
Why can't
increase
we
the
use
pay,
the teachers
increase
in
the
the school
requirements.
who have free periods? Teachers get free. They're not teaching all day long. They have at least 2 breaks where they're not teaching, not including lunch. So why can't we use those teachers who are already working to monitor classes when they're not teaching?
I mean, we definitely could, but like I stated previously, upgrading their pay wouldn't be a
I
bad
mean, we
idea.
definitely have to upgrade their pay. Like, teachers need to be paid more, just regardless. I mean, just regardless, teachers need to be paid more. They do a lot. I mean, and like James said, this
But
one was said, why wouldn't I pay and pay well the people who raise and impact our kids daily? When your child's not at home with you, they're at school, and so like their children are at school for 7.5 to 8 hours a day. That's a long time. Like, that's really a long time, and teachers do not get paid enough. Just period. They don't get paid enough, which is why I said earlier, most teachers become teachers because they love what they do, want to have an impact. But some teachers, they've been teaching for so long, like that, wanting to be an impact, wanting to be a change, and that love is not fully there because the pay is not fully there. So now you're unappreciated, you're underpaid, kids are disrespectful, parents are blaming you during peak teacher parent conferences while their kids' grades are failing, instead of looking at themselves and asking, why are you not checking kids' homework and making sure they're doing it? So it's like teachers are super unappreciated and underpaid for sure, and their pay does need to increase, and that's just in general. Because teachers do a lot. And people's kids be with them for 7 to 8 hours out of the day. That's a long time. That is truly, truly a long time for teachers. And then especially elementary school teachers, because for the most part they don't like switch teachers like how you do once you start going into middle school and high school and you switch teachers throughout the day. Like elementary school teachers are usually with their one class, and that can be stressful. That can definitely be stressful because the kids may start feeling a type of way, the teacher may start feeling a type of way, and everybody's emotions gets riled up, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Teachers are very unappreciated. Very unappreciated.
Exactly. You got to think though. You battle like that's why you got something got to be done because you battling like with the system because you get paid more to be a correctional officer in a prison as a guard than you do to be a teacher. So they rather you babysit once you fuck up than to
Mm-hmm.
actually deal with the problem in the beginning. So it's that's what's messed up. Like you dealing with like something bigger than what it is. That's why they won't pay them teachers more because they probably easily could do that shit, but they don't want to.
Mm-hmm. They don't want to.
Yeah, I remember like I just think about when they probably look at their budget and they probably look at like, like think about it, legislation and all that, they make way more. And like when you look at your budget and you're like, okay, like we're only gonna have one teacher here and we'll have like three floaters. That really doesn't work. And I think that's their system and they get so like understaffed sometimes to where it's just like, hey, like we're just gonna let it fly. Like we have to run school, we can't cancel. So like I know like personally here, like my aunt, she had a situation when they had a couple COVID calls, like they basically canceled school and went to online again. So like, I think the whole situation matters, but a lot of the times these schools get greedy in the situation that hey, we got to keep running for funding and all that. So
They do teachers dirty. Teachers very dirty when it comes to the pay. And the sad thing is, it's like nationwide, state to state, coast to coast, all teachers are um, done dirty, and all teachers face situations like this. All teachers, um, and not all, but I'm sure at least like 90% of teachers, no matter what age they teach, have a crazy ass story with with a student. It's just, it's hard being a teacher. That's some mental stuff. I don't think I could be a teacher straight up. That's just my honesty. I don't think that I have it inside of me. I don't think I have that teacher strength because, and speaking specifically to the situation with the 5-year old, I'd risk losing my job. I'd straight risk losing my job with that. Because I couldn't. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably black out. And in my experience, my blackouts are not good. I've had not quite a few, but I've had a couple, and they're not good. So, and the sad thing is, the sad thing is, thinking about it, we just need more male teachers. We need more male teachers, more influence. Um, Black male influence. The states, depending on what state you're in, really has a huge impact on the type of teachers you have, and where your teacher grew up, and the life that they come from has an impact of what type of teacher they are as well too. So it's just a lot of variables. But at the end of the day, this is not like the first time something like this has happened with teachers,
Mm-mm.
which is sad. And sadly, it's not going to be the last situation that happens with a student and a teacher. Um, and it is horrible. I mean, just what last year, some kids had trending on TikTok National Hit a Teacher Day. And so that's where like this social media comes in, and it really plays a huge role in how students act when they're at school because National Hit a Teacher Day, that's What? 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 Like, no, no, no.
But real quick though, real
No.
quick though, check private chat G just real quick. And just to go over this, you feel me? James comment, you would for sure lose your job and potentially face jail time. Would that be the best move? No, it would not. That is why we do what we do instead of her being a teacher, because that's making a chess move, understanding your limitations. You feel me? So that's what we
Understand
do here.
patient.
And then, if male influence is the goal, does it have to come from male teachers, or are there other ways to male role models can step up? So definitely stuff that we do where we enter schools, you feel me, and be that kind of just influence in general, whether it be male or female. And then I also think, increasing the pay and making it desirable for those men that want the money type stuff, you feel me, while also impacting people's lives would be a dope idea. Um, but to end off, I appreciate everybody that tapped in with us. Definitely much love. I appreciate it. As always, we'd ask that you guys like and follow our Make a Chess move. Then go ahead and tap in with our Make a Culture move. Check out our YouTube where you could rewatch this, comment on it, like and subscribe. You feel me? It's at YouTube at Make a Chess Move dash Macam. Virtual artist storytelling is in the works. You feel me? If you guys have any ideas for people that you guys would like to be in there, definitely shoot that to us on our page, and then we'll go ahead and get to that. Then check out our website. We have a Macam Luncheon coming up very soon. Have any information, you can hit up either of the people you see on our screen, or just go on our Make a Chess Move page and find out. Then we have our Macam Female Empowerment Workshop, March 29th through the 31st. Make sure you tap in with that.
It is not just for females, it is for all.
Okay. Entiendo. Or I understand. My fault. I've been learning Spanish. Our Facebook, Instagram, and our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest is all Macam303. Again, the Macam Luncheon is at Cross Purpose. Make sure y'all tap into that. And then, as always, make sure you leave a like and a comment. We appreciate you, James. With that being said, y'all Macam out there, man. We gone.